is Tony from her Homestead Skills, and today I'm going to discuss some of the herbs that I've grown in my garden. I do grow most of all the culinary herbs like parsley, sage, rosemary, thyme, dill, basil. So all of those I use for cooking, or can use, and Italian oregano, of course, which I use for pizzas. I also, let's see, lavender is another one that I've grown in the past, and I'm growing again. I'm trying to develop lovely lavender bushes so that I can take a lot of flowers next year. In the past I have created a lavender walk, like the walkway was just a whole row of lavender bushes, and I collected the flowers and got quite a few of them. I dried them, and then I would make lavender sachets, which you can put in your underwear garment drawer or hang in a closet, and it just gives a lovely scent to your clothing. So anyway, today's focus is on two new herbs, although I have grown chamomile in the past. It was the Roman chamomile, and that really does not flower all that well. So yeah, the two new herbs are chamomile and comfrey. So I've seeded an area of my garden with the German chamomile, which is the one that flowers prolifically, in order to harvest the flowers and make an herbal tea, to make chamomile tea. Apparently it does have quite a number of other uses as well. I'm just going to, and that's why I have my reading glasses on today, I'm going to read some of the uses from my herb. I have a number of herb books, and this one here says that the flower infuses a facial steam and as a hand soap to soften and whiten skin. Make an eye bath or a tea bag compress to reduce inflammation and eliminate fatigue shadows. That would be good for me. Add infusion for a reviving bath. Boil flowers for 20 minutes and use regularly as a rinse to lighten and condition fair hair. Now, I have heard of that. As a matter of fact, just recently, one of the other ladies who gardens near me said that her mother used to, she was fair, and she said her mother used to always rinse her hair in a chamomile infusion. My own mother would make a tea and give that to me for, say, an upset stomach, or just to relax a person, because it will do that as well. So yeah, it says folk medicine infused as a tea for general tonic and sedative, said to be good for restless children and nightmares. I don't know if I had nightmares, I don't remember that. Also used as a compress applied to wounds and eczema. I did have eczema once, and I didn't know it was good for that. I might have tried it if I knew. Anyway, that takes care of my some of the reasons why I'm growing the chamomile, but specifically, yes, once you've got the flowers and you've dried them, then you can do any number of things with them. So, chamomile is also on the Food and Drug Administration's list of herbs generally regarded as safe. And if chamomile causes minor discomfort such as nausea or vomiting, use less or stop using it. Okay, and I have dried, and I continue to harvest and dry as the plants keep putting out flowers, and I'm going to store my own chamomile for tea. Okay, well, I've been asked to show how I make chamomile tea, so here we go. I've got a pot of boiling water, and the first thing, since I'm making simply a cup at this point, I'm going to warm up my cup. If you're making it in a teapot, you warm up the teapot, and that's just so that you don't lose heat when you're actually making the tea. So I'm going to throw this out, and the cup is now warm, and I've got a tea strainer, and I've got a variety of tea strainers here. I like this one because it's easier to wash. I have, as I said, any number of tea strainers, and you would just fill these up, well, with a certain amount of tea or herbal teas or whatever. Now here's my chamomile tea that I grew from my own garden and dried, and make sure you dry absolutely thoroughly before you put them in a jar like this and seal them, because they're airtight and you don't want any mold to grow in there. So in my case, because I know this is going to be very strong, I just take a couple of leaves or a couple of flowers, not that many. As I said, I know that the flowers are fresh. Now let's go with one more. I know that the flowers are fresh and they'll brew up a nice tea. Okay, so then just add my hot water and let that steep for a few minutes. And it should turn a lovely yellow color. We'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, after you have left this to steep for 5 minutes or so, you can pull out the flowers, and you should have this lovely yellowish color, and that is the tea infused. Now all I do is add a spoonful of honey. You can add whatever sweetener you like to taste, and that is it. So a spoonful of honey, and I just sip this slowly. So that's how I make chamomile tea. Now you can make it in a pot as well, as I said, but if it's just you drinking a single cup, I just make them 1 cup at a time. Okay, second on my list of herbs that I've grown in the garden, this one is absolutely not to be taken internally in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. It has been used in the past to treat wounds externally, and in my guide here, Healing Herbs, it says that, well actually, there it is, Healing Herbs by Michael Castleman. Now it says that Comfrey contains a chemical, antolin, that promotes the growth of new cells, thus validating its more than 2,500 years of external use on everything from minor cuts and burns to major battle wounds. Studies show Comfrey also helps relieve inflammation, adding to its wound treating effect. Okay, I intend to make a comfrey oil, so when I'm sure that this is dried very well, I want to give it another day or two, and when it's dried very well, I will break it up and immerse it in oil so that the properties of the comfrey are distributed within the oil. From there, I will perhaps make comfrey soap or a comfrey salve that you apply externally. But that's it. That's the only way I will use this. Now, I've grown many other herbs in my garden, but these are the 2 most recent new ones that I've added. These 2 are new to my repertoire, so comfrey definitely is. Yes, apparently comfrey is also good as a fertilizer for other plants that grow. The method to use it that way, I understand, is to soak it in water until it deteriorates. I have heard that it smells pretty bad though, and at some point after it has broken down a fair bit, it can be poured onto the soil next to a plant to fertilize it. So it does have a number of uses, and the first one I'm going to attempt is either a soap or a salve. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and we've learned a little bit more about some herbs, specifically the chamomile and the comfrey. And hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.